everyone, Jennifer here, and welcome to another edition of Live the Mod Life. And if you are not living the Mod Life, well, you'll be well on your way after watching this entire episode. In today's show, I'm going to take you on a journey with me up to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I recently attended the Philadelphia Flower Show. Now, if you're not familiar with the Philadelphia Flower Show, here's what you need to know. This is the largest, oldest, and most prestigious flower show in the United States. Over 250,000 people come from literally all around the world to come see this flower show. And it's put on by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. So it's not just flowers, there's actually a lot of plants. So if you're a plant enthusiast, you're going to see best in class from, every kind of plant that's out there. I was pretty blown away by the in-depth that they went into in this show, and had a wonderful time. My daughter and I went. And so come along. I'm going to pop back on at the end and share with you some of my lessons learned by attending these events like this, or attending an event like this, and what you can learn from it as well to live your best mod life. So come along with me. I actually take Amtrak all the way up to Philadelphia from Alexandria, Virginia, and I go to one of the oldest train stations in Virginia. This one was built in actually 1905. It is a part of the Historical Society. So I'll show you that. That's a lot of fun. I could go to Union Station, which is a big, beautiful train station right next to the United States Capitol building. But for this trip, I like going to the Alexandria train station. It was built in 1905. You can get on the train, you can pick a seat, you can get on it before you get to the Union Station, so it's not so full. And that way you can pick your seat, because at Union Station, everyone climbs on board. And I took my journey up to Philadelphia via train. From there, you'll see bits and pieces of my drive from the train station and my Tesla Uber ride experience through Philadelphia over to my daughter's house, and then to the flower show. So come along, join with me, and I'll be back at the end of this episode. Enjoy. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed my experience at the Philadelphia Flower Show. It really was a great day, and that was just a glimpse of it, but I hope that gave you a sense of what the event is all about. And the flowers were incredible, the art was incredible. There's a scene in there, I hope you noticed it, of all those pictures that were on the wall. Those are individual flower petals turned into pieces of art made by 3rd through 12th graders. I mean, that was just absolutely amazing. That was actually one of my favorite parts of that show, was looking at that art. So there's a lot of art in the flower show as well, where people are utilizing pieces of flowers to make art, and I just loved that part of the show. So I hope you like that too. All right, so what are some of my lessons learned, and what can I share with you on how I'm living my best life, and how possibly you can too, and you will too if you do these things. First of all, try a new mode of transportation when you're going someplace. You know, I like taking the train, but a lot of people have never taken a train ride before. And I was talking to some of my female friends, they're like, you know what, I've never taken the train. And I love train travel. I could have driven up to Philadelphia. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from where I am. I'm right outside of Washington, D.C. But I decided that I want to relax. I want to sit back. I want to enjoy the scenery. I want to enjoy the ride. I can listen to my podcast. I can read my magazine. I can write. I can do whatever I want. And that's how I really like to spend my time. So I use it as a treat for myself to take the train. The further out that you book your ticket on a train, the lower the price is, and it can be very, very reasonable. There are some train tickets from here to Philadelphia that are $14. I mean, that is a lot cheaper than driving because there's tolls and gas, and just not to mention the headaches. So number one, embrace a new mode of travel, whether it's taking a bus, taking a train, going with a group of people. There are actually limousine tours that bring women to this flower show. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. Or maybe you've never been on an airplane and you want to fly to Philadelphia. So that's tip number one. Get out of your comfort zone and embrace a new way to travel. Number two, this trip was completely spontaneous. So my second tip is be spontaneous in life. If you're living the mod life, you can't just stay stuck in your routine. We got to be spontaneous, okay? And so my whole purpose of going up to Philadelphia this past weekend is I was helping my daughter who is getting married this summer, and we were going to the florist. So it was going to be a flower weekend. And all of a sudden we saw the sign. We noticed that the flower show was happening in Philadelphia. And my daughter was like, hey, why don't we go to the flower show? And I was like, I hadn't thought of that. Let's go. And so we took an Uber over from our place over to the city, got tickets that day, and just had a great time. You know, we went at 1 o'clock. It was a little bit later in the day, and stayed for at least 3.5 hours at the show, 4 hours, and just had a great time. And so I'm going to say embrace spontaneity. You know, had I said, no, I'm not ready, or, I didn't have this in my mind that we were going to do this, I would have missed out on this incredible experience, because I have been wanting to go to this show for a long, long time, and I've never done it. And now I can say I've gone, I know it. And in fact, I think next year I'd love to have a Mod.Life meetup at the flower show. So if that's something that you're interested in, please put it in the comments and say, yes, I want to go, because I would love for us all to go together, just women from all over the country, and we go to this show, and it would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. So that's tip number two, be spontaneous. We have to do that when we are living the mod life. Embrace new experiences. I think this is tip number three. Part of living the mod life, again, is getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things. So whether it's for me going to, instead of Union Station to catch the train, which is where everyone goes, and that's the big train station here in Washington, D.C., I'm going to go to the Alexandria station because I think it's cute, it's something different, it's a new experience. I've been there once before, but it's so much fun because it's a cute little old-fashioned train station. I just love it. To actually, again, going to the flower show, being open to going. So not just being spontaneous, but being open to new experiences. That's really, really key, because as we age, we can get stuck in a rut, and you don't want to do that. You want to have fun, you want to try new things, and you want to try new experiences within your comfort zone, maybe even a little outside your comfort zone. The other thing I did on this trip is we tried a new cuisine. We went to a really great, I think very elegant but hip and fun Spanish-Mexican restaurant. And it was called LMNO, the letters LMNO. And I'm going to give it, out of a 1 to 5, I'm going to give it a 5. Absolutely amazing. I had a chicken enchilada, but it was much more than that. I'm not doing it justice by the description. It was a gourmet. It was just, the way that it was plated, the spice, the flavor, the textures, the way it was plated on the plate was beautiful, and the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. So LMNO, I would definitely recommend that. Again, was not in the plan, but it was a spontaneous trip out, and we had a great time and a great experience at that restaurant. Go to new places, try new places. This will be your 4th tip. Go new places. Again, I've been wanting to go to this show for years. I used to work for the travel section for the Washington Post. I remember way back in the 90s, people talking about this flower show, and I've never gone. And literally, it's 2.5 hours from my house. Why haven't I done it? And so now, the clock's ticking. I want to start getting these things done and having these experiences. And so now more than ever, I want to have more experiences. And so if you're living the mod life, you are going to want to have these experiences too. Thus, glad you're with the mod life, because we will be planning many experiences and escapades to get you out of your rut, to do things that perhaps you've always wanted to do, or maybe try something new that you've never done before. And this flower show will be on the list in the future. So love to have you along. And if you're interested, again, put that in the comments so I can hear from you that, yeah, there's an interest. The other thing I learned when I went to this event is always be aware, I love fashion, but just always be aware of how you present yourself to the world. At this show, you had people from all walks of life, from all over the world. And yes, there's a lot of walking. So of course you don't expect people to be wearing, high heels or stilettos or anything like that. But I will say, I did notice that the people who were kind of dressed, they kind of, they're dressed, they took some time to, do their hair. They weren't wearing their Crocs and their flannel pajama pants, like we all see at the airport. They look nice. Even if they had a cool pair of sneakers on, they look cool. But just be aware of the way you dress. Kind of hold your head up high, not always down at your camera. Look at the people. Look at the people. Smile. Acknowledge people. Everyone is stressed right now. People want to be acknowledged. They're at this show to try to have a wonderful day. And if you're, you haven't quite pulled yourself together, and you're in your flannel pants, not that any of you would be, but I'm saying, it's just take a little extra time to pull yourself together a little bit when you go out to an event like this. And I say this because you never know who you're going to run into. Also, I find when people are dressed in a certain way, it does attract a good energy. And so a little quick story, I had bought my daughter does some singing, and I bought her a silver sequined dress. And the dress had flowers on it. And she said, I really want to wear this dress to the flower show. And I said, why not? And so, of course, this was, way out there. She had, the sequins and everything. But the attention that she got and the smiles that it brought to people's faces was just really noticeable. And so what that told me is the power of fashion. And like I've said before, this channel is going to have a fashion component to it, and in a lot of ways. And it's becoming more and more apparent to me the more I get into it, how important fashion is and what it communicates to other people. So just something to be aware of. I saw a group of sisters that was at the show, and they were all wearing matching t-shirts and saying, like, I'm with her, or the 4 sisters. And so it was really cute. They were all dressed alike, and they were just making a fun day of it. And when I got to talking to them, which I wish I would have gotten them on this camera, but I didn't have my mic with me and it was loud. They were saying this is a tradition of theirs, that they come to the show as sisters every year. And I thought that was a lot of fun. So anyway, that's another tip for you. Just kind of pull yourself together in a way that you're comfortable, but that you're presenting yourself to the world in the way that you want to be thought of. That's just another takeaway that I had. And as I get older, I'm finding that more and more that's more important no matter what age we are, okay? And then lastly, again, embrace adventure. We all want to have a certain amount of adventure in our lives. And for me, this was an adventure. I wasn't planning on going to the flower show, but did it when my daughter suggested it, and we just had an incredible time. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to the Philadelphia Flower Show, the oldest, largest flower show in the nation. And if you want to come next year with Mod.Life, please let me know. I'd love to put together an event for us all to meet up there. Until next time, stay mod.